webinars. And so he is someone who is very valuable for international students who are looking to study in Canada, because he has a lot of experience with visas, with working with students. And so he'll also have some time to tell you some very helpful information for you. And so today, once we start, I will give a overview of the University of Winnipeg. So the presentation today, we're going to focus on bachelor's programs, so undergraduate degrees, as I had said in the invitation. If you are a master's student, you are welcome to stay, and some of the information that I share about the city of Winnipeg will be still relevant for you, or about living in Manitoba, options for staying after you graduate in Manitoba. The specific programs we will not be able to get into at the master's level today, but we will also share the information of Mr. Farouk, and so he'll be able to also provide individual counseling to students after this session. And so if you are looking for a master's program and we're not covering it today, he will be able to help you with advice. And I hope you'll still find the session today is helpful, because we will be sharing just information. The city that we are located in is Winnipeg. This is the University of Winnipeg in Manitoba. And this is just such a wonderful province for international students, for international migrants, for people who live here. And it's one city that maybe is not the most famous in Canada. So you may not know very much about Winnipeg or Manitoba now. And so I'm really thankful you've given us a chance to tell you about all of the wonderful things that make it very, very good option for international students to look at if they're interested in coming to Canada. The presentation should be probably about 30 minutes once we get started. And during the presentation, we won't have questions, because I will go through everything. And a lot of your questions, hopefully, we will answer as we go through the presentation. But then after the presentation, we will have time for Q&A. And so you are welcome to then put your hand up and we'll call on you, and I can answer your questions. Also, Mr. Farouk can answer your questions. He's very good with visas and paperwork and processes. And so we'll do that through raising hands at the end. And then, so in about 30 minutes. And then also, if you would like to type your questions, you can type them and send them to me. You'll see me as one of the co-hosts, and either I can type the answer back if it's specific to you, or if it's a question that will be good for everybody, I'll be able to answer that so that everybody can share if it's a question that would apply for everyone. So just during the presentation, though, we will ask you to just hold the questions till the end, but feel free to write them in there if something comes to your mind and you're not sure that you're going to remember that. So we still have students joining. So I'm going to be waiting for the go-ahead from my partner, Mr. Farouk here, who is doing all of the technical things.
Yes, please go.
The other side. Are we ready to go,
Yes.
Mr. Farouk?
Yes, we're ready to go.
Okay, perfect. So I will re-say some of the stuff that I just said, but I want to say firstly, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for taking your time today to join myself and Mr. Farouk from Education Concern. We know that you're very busy and you have many different things going on, so we appreciate very much your interest and your time today. My name is Ashley Dunlop. I am the Director of Admissions at the University of Winnipeg, and I also work in the Student Recruitment Office and oversee international student services here. So if you come to the University of Winnipeg as an international student, really you see me all the way from your first presentation, when it might be the first time you hear of Winnipeg, all the way until you're a student and you graduate here on the stage. Just because of the size of the type of university we are, we're very hands-on. We've had many students coming from Pakistan, many students who have worked with education concern and who are now studying here in Winnipeg, who started at one of these presentations. And so I'm really hopeful that potentially some of you also might be part of one of our next batches that we have here.
When we want to ask the question.
We will have questions at the end of the presentation. So I'm going to do about 25 minutes of a presentation, and then we will do Q&A, and I will be here for half an hour for a Q&A, and then Mr. Farouk, he can go on forever. He's always very patient and able to help. So we'll just ask you to hold the questions until just after the presentation, and then the second half of the presentation will just be Q&A. But probably some of the questions you have, I might answer in the presentation. So I'm going to then begin the presentation now. Okay, so we're good here. Thumbs up, you can see the presentation. Great. And
yes.
Give me 1 second. I'll make it so that it's big. I never seem to be able to do this quite smoothly, that I don't do this step, but there we go. All right, so everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for your time today. It's just so wonderful to see almost 30 students who are out here today to learn a little bit about the University of Winnipeg. I'm joined, as I mentioned, by my good partner and friend, Mr. Farouk Lukman, who is based in Pakistan and is our official partner in Pakistan, helping us secure many visas and great students here at the University of Winnipeg. This is a picture here on your screen of the University of Winnipeg. I am looking at this shot right here. The day is similar. It's a very beautiful summer day here. It will be today probably about plus 25. Very sunny, and so a really good example of what the weather is like when a student starts at the University of Winnipeg in September. So firstly, students may be joining us who have different knowledge about Winnipeg and about Manitoba. And so I'd like to start by saying where we are. So if you look in the center of the map here, of the screen here, we have our map that shows a map of Canada. So that's Canada, which is sitting right on top of the US. And I'm sure that if you're interested in Canada, all of you probably know Toronto, which is on this map, and all of you probably know Vancouver, which is our second most famous city. If you look between Toronto and Vancouver, you will find the city of Winnipeg, which is where I am from and where our university is located. That is about 2 by flight from Toronto. So about 2 hours of 2 hours flight there. Winnipeg is the capital city of the province of Manitoba, and we are the 7th largest city of Canada. So we are just under 1 million people. For some countries, when I say that we are one of the largest cities in Canada and I say our population is not even 1 million, this is very shocking for them, coming from big, big cities. But in Canada, being a capital city means that we have lots of business, lots of economic opportunities, lots of arts and culture and food and diversity of places where people are from. And so even though we're not 1 million, we are still the 7th largest city of Canada. A few other statistics that I will share here. So Winnipeg has won some very prestigious accolades and awards or recognitions from international organizations. So one example is the 2021 Intelligent Community of the Year Award. And so this was in recognition of the global leadership in technology deployment and digital innovation. So just showing that this is a very innovative city. It was also named one of the best places to live and work remotely by Maclean's magazine. That's a very famous magazine of Canada. And also this is my favorite one, everybody knows Time magazine. I think there's Time magazine in Pakistan, with the red cover. And in 2021, the city of Winnipeg, where I am from, was named one of the world's greatest places of 2021. And so that first slide on there is our special mention in Time magazine for being a famous city. And really that was in recognition for all of the arts and culture that they have here. The last slide there is maybe a little bit shocking. It says, "Goodbye Toronto, hello Winnipeg. Are Canada's youth giving up their big city dreams?" And so this is a headline from the Globe and Mail, which is our national newspaper of Canada. This is from 2018, so this is not new, but it's a trend that has started where many of Canada's biggest cities, so our first top one, like Toronto or Vancouver, they are seeing a lot of problems in terms of being too big. And so there's some issues in terms of access to housing, in terms of affordability, in terms of access to services. And so a lot of students and young people, and this article was actually not about international students. This article was about Canadians who are living in Toronto, are looking at cities like Winnipeg and moving from places like Toronto to Manitoba, because this is a place where there's so much opportunity for them. Many opportunity for jobs, many opportunities for buying a house, being affordable, and having a really comfortable lifestyle. So we've been really lucky that we've seen this trend in Canada of people sort of realizing what we always know here in Winnipeg, that this is a really great place for young people and young professionals to get started and get their life going here. A few other statistics that we have here. So we are one of North America's next 25 up and coming tech markets. We also have very strong economic growth, and actually Winnipeg, as a capital city, has the lowest unemployment rate across the country right now. We are also, so in Manitoba, we are known for having a very strong and diverse economy. So this means that in some cities, they could be very dependent on one type of industry or one major industry. Here in Manitoba, we have a very stable economy. We don't have big booms and we don't have big busts because our economy is very diverse. Some of our major industries, and these are places where students find jobs after they work if they're looking to settle in Canada. That includes aerospace, financial services, biotechnology, digital media, manufacturing, information and communication technologies. So big industries, lots of really exciting, innovative things for students to do. Some of the international companies, we have some logos here of places that you would recognize too, because they probably have branches in Pakistan. So companies like Ubisoft, the gaming company, they have a branch here in Winnipeg where they employ computer science graduates who working on video games. We have Boeing. They have a large manufacturing plant here where they're making airplanes. And so there's manufacturing jobs, but there's also lots of management jobs, jobs in terms of production planning, business, others, Pfizer, Skip the Dishes, IBM. So just really a lot of opportunities for students. I mentioned part of that, what I was saying about international or students in Canada moving to Winnipeg. Manitoba, our province, is known for being very affordable. So the average rent, this is an example here about costs of living across Canada. So Winnipeg, you'll see there our average rent per month is about $1,600 for a 2-bedroom apartment. You look down the list, Calgary, a little bit more expensive. You look at Vancouver, Toronto, almost more than 2 times the cost. So for 1 month of living in Toronto and paying your student housing or your rent, in Winnipeg, you get 2. So six months for the price of, or 12 months for the price of 6, just by choosing a city that is a little bit more affordable. This extends to things that will be more important if you will intend to stay in Canada. So house prices and expenses, monthly expenses facing a family. And so affordability also goes, does not just go towards cost of living, it is also reflected in our average tuition rates. The graph that I have here, this is a graph that shows prices of university tuition, undergraduate average tuition across Canada by province. This is put together by our national agency, Statistics Canada. And if you see here, average tuition for each one, Manitoba is right there near the bottom. Ontario, first column, that's where you're going to have Toronto, Brampton, Guelph, all of these places, $45,000 average tuition. Canadian average, $36,000. All the way down there, Manitoba is on average 18,000 Canadian dollars. So another example of where 1 year of studies in Ontario, for example, can be 2 years of full-time study here at the University of Winnipeg. So this is really a place where your dollar can go a lot further. Another advantage that we like to talk about when we and share with students and people considering Manitoba is our provincial nominee program. This is PNP. This is a very famous program. And this program, it started in Manitoba, this is specifically in our province, and we have had the Manitoba Provincial Nominee Program for more than 20 years now. Within this program, it gives the province of Manitoba itself the option to nominate and select its own immigrants to Canada who will be living here in Manitoba. Within the program, there are different streams, and the one that is relevant for education and students is that we have a priority assessment stream for international students with strong ties to Manitoba who are interested in immigrating. The latest data I have, so we had about 2,500 Manitoba graduates come through this program. And when they did, they had a 99% approval rate for graduates going through if they had come to Manitoba, studied here in a post-secondary institution, graduated, and then applied to become a permanent resident of Manitoba. A little more details on how this works. So we have, it's called the Career Employment Pathway. This is for post-secondary graduates who find long-term employment in Manitoba in an in-demand occupation consistent with their training. So if they meet these conditions, go to university, graduate, get a job offer in their field, they can apply for PR right away when they have that job offer. That is a very express compared to in other provinces where there's more competition for those spots. Our one is concern, always a very important concern for international students, is about your job and career prospects and prospects for employment after you graduate. One area that I like to point students to is this in-demand occupations list. This is a very long list, and this is produced by the government of Manitoba based on the labor needs of our province. This includes jobs that are going to be related to the programs you want to study. So things like accountants, human resources professionals, biologists, statisticians, computer programmers, physiotherapists, psychologists, social worker, fitness program director. Lots and lots of scope there at jobs for students that you can match are right related to the programs that we're offering here at the University of Winnipeg. Right. Now I'll go a little bit specifically into the university itself and what our programs are and our university profile. This is a view here actually from the building that I am in. So we are located right downtown in the center of the city of Winnipeg. And so it has really easy access to shops, to housing, to transportation, very central location. The city itself, Winnipeg, is a city where we have a lot of space. We have a lot of green space. We also have very low big city problems. So not very much traffic, not much pollution, and lots of opportunity here for being downtown, being involved with your city. And now the university itself, we are about 10,000 full-time students. So that makes us a medium-sized Canadian university. So we are big enough that we have many, many programs. So you'll see here, we have 1,600 international students. We have 55 student groups. We have lots of research opportunities for undergraduate students. But we're also small enough that you as an international student or a first-year student at the university will feel very comfortable in this setting. Your class sizes, you're going to have classes that have 20 people, 30 people. You see the same faces every day in class. Your professors will get to know you. They're going to be able to make connections and start developing your network here in the city of Winnipeg, which you're going to have to work on as an international student. So the University of Winnipeg has 5 areas. Undergraduate studies, which is the focus of this presentation today. We also have an English language program, a high school on campus called the Collegiate, PACE, which are postgraduate diplomas, and graduate studies. As I mentioned today, I will not be talking about graduate studies, so not master's and PhD programs, but focusing on undergraduate. Can also answer questions about the high school program if students are interested. So in our undergraduate studies, our degree programs are either 3 years or 4 years, depending on if students choose to do their research option in their 4th year. Our student-professor ratio is 25:1, and all of our programs begin in January, May, or September. This offers you a lot of flexibility as an international student in that when you apply, you will get a letter of acceptance that is valid for 2 terms. So if you apply today and you say, I'm coming for January, and then we get closer to January and you're not ready yet, maybe your visa or your paperwork hasn't come through, maybe you don't have your finances ready yet, maybe you're just not ready to start your university and your Canadian journey yet, that's okay. Your letter of acceptance and your seat is guaranteed in our program for May. And so for all students, you have that flexibility of the 2 start terms. We also offer co-op programs and work integrated learning opportunities for students. So where while they're a student, they can be studying and earning money and getting experience in their field. So we have four faculties for international students. So now I'm talking about the programs we offer. First is Faculty of Arts. So this is for students interested in humanities. The most popular programs and the ones we're most well known for in this faculty are our criminal justice. So that's very interesting for students who like law or criminology, psychology, We have theater and filmmaking, history, communications and writing, and so really good for students interested in journalism, and political science. Next faculty is our Faculty of Business and Economics. This is a very popular faculty. We have many potential business students out there always. So we offer a Bachelor of Business Administration, a BBA program. We offer a 3 years BBA program. So you graduate with a full degree in 3 years. We also have an option of a 4th year concentration in areas like accounting, human resource management, marketing, international business, and supply chain. We also have programs in economics and finance. Next, Gupta Faculty of Kinesiology and Applied Health. This is for students interested in physical activity, in fitness, in exercise, and in sport. It is really good preparation for further studies in health fields. And the degree options include athletic therapy and kinesiology. So good for students who like to move, who like exercise, who like studying about health. In our Faculty of Science, most popular are biology, chemistry, data science, math, applied computer science, physics, and environmental science. Our first year labs are known for being very small, so only 24 students in a classroom, so lots of personal attention. And we have a very modern science complex here at the University of Winnipeg. So it was built within the past 10 years and has top-notch state-of-the-art equipment there. Okay, so these are the requirements now, admission requirements for students in Pakistan. So we will look at your HSC, your high school grades, and we are looking for an average in your academic subjects of B. So across, you don't have to have all Bs, but your average must be B. And if students have confusion about how they calculate their average, Mr. Farouk in his office are always able to help you advise you if you meet the requirements. We do accept transfer students from colleges, which I will talk about in a minute. And then we also require an English test like IELTS. So if there are any students here, I'll just skip to this third one, doing a British pattern. So doing O-levels, A-levels, GCSEs. What our requirement for that is a minimum of 2 A-levels. So we'll be looking at 2 A-levels and 3 GCSEs, or 3 A-levels and 1 GCSE. And with that, we are also looking for a minimum average of C, with no marks below a D. Okay. English requirement. As I mentioned, our programs do have an English language requirement. The tests, we accept many tests. Most students here, Mr. Farouk will explain to you about SDS visa stream. And so we very strongly recommend that you take a test that is approved under the SDS visa stream. So some of these include TOEFL, 86. IELTS is the most popular one, and we're looking for overall score of 6.5. So IELTS 6.5. Duolingo is not eligible for SDS, but we do accept it for admission at 120. And we also accept Pearson with a minimum score of 58. Quick note for transfer students. So if you are already studying, you've graduated high school and you have started your studies, higher education, higher studies in Pakistan or in another country, you are eligible, you may be eligible to transfer to the University of Winnipeg and finish your degree here. So students can transfer up to 60 credit hours towards their program, so about 2 years. The credits that are awarded are based on their grades, the accreditation of your school, and the course content. And that process, you apply as a transfer student, We assess you on those grades, and then we'll do the specific transfer credit assessment after you apply. So the costs are always very important, of course, for students. So there is an application fee of $120. And then our important things here are tuition, books and textbooks and supplies, health insurance, our total expenses to the university. So what you owe the university for everything except for your stay. So this is for textbooks, lab fees, all those things will be between 19 and 23,000 Canadian dollars. So think maybe about like 22,000 Canadian dollars. The exact cost will depend on which program that you take. Then if you're looking at options for staying, so we do have a residence on campus. It's not mandatory for students, but if they do, they're very welcome to stay there. So McFeeters Hall. This is if you have a room in our residence, private room with a meal plan, that would be for the academic year about 10,000 Canadian dollars. Another option is a house on campus. So where you have your own room, but you share the house with the other students. That is about half the price. That's about $5,200. And the difference there is that there is no food included. So maybe in your head, think about 10,000 Canadian dollars for the cost of your stay for the 2 academic terms. Again, this goes across Canada, that while studying in the University of Manitoba Winnipeg is expensive, it is one of the most affordable options that you have in Canada for getting a full university degree and a quality public education degree that then you can use to go on to further studies, to study here in Winnipeg at a graduate level, to study wherever your path can take you. We do have scholarships and awards. These are our scholarships are for continuous students. So students who are coming to us right from high school. And the 2 types of scholarships that we have, one are our special entrance scholarships. These are automatic scholarships for students based on their average if they apply by the deadline. So starting at 85% plus, so you need to have good grades. You need to have like an average of A. If you apply by the deadline and we see that you have a really good high school average, we will automatically award you $1,000 to $3,000, depending on what tier you're in. We also have a scholarship called the President's Scholarship for World Leaders. This is a $5,000 scholarship, and this one is a little bit more work for you. So you have to have good grades, but you can complete this scholarship application online, and then from there, you would be eligible. It will be application plus letters of reference and a little essay, a personal statement, and then that one will be assessed by a committee, and some students will be chosen to receive the award. Okay, so how to apply? I really recommend working with our good partner here, Mr. Farouk, because he can help you get all of your paperwork and all of your documents together, and then you can bring them right to him and not even have to send them directly to the university in many cases. So my advice to you really is to work with Mr. Farouk here with Education Concern, who will take care free to you as a student of all of the details towards your application. You just pay the application fee to the university, but he will offer you his guidance there, which is very, very helpful for students who are working through all of the paperwork and getting their program together. The last one. Yes, so I just wanted to put that. So this is our Mr. Farouk's contact information here, who is our partner in Pakistan. As I mentioned, he's authorized partner, has had much training, sent many students. And so I've put his contact information here. I would also like to invite you now, Mr. Farouk, to say something to the students about education concern, and then also to share with them information about the visa process, because I know you are our expert in Pakistan for visas.
Thank you very much for providing such a wonderful information. Dear students, I will tell all of you about visa process and good news about addition of 2 new tests. Previously, there was only one test, which was IELTS, but Canadian government included TOEFL and PT, Pearson test. So Pakistani student will apply visa under SDS policy, which is very easy to understand, straightforward, and there's no need to show parents' bank statement, and you can get your visa without any interview within a month. So you need to fulfill only 3 requirements, which are very easy to understand. Number 1, English test, IELTS, TOEFL, RPT. Number 2, you will need to pay your first year tuition fees advance. Number 3, you will open your bank account in a Canadian bank, which is very easy to open, and we will help in this regard. So you will deposit 10,000 Canadian dollar in that bank for the living cost. So अगर आप ये 3 condition पूरी कर लें, तो without any interview and without any parents' bank statement, you can get your visa. So मैं आप तमाम students को ये encourage करूँगा, please apply only under SDS policy, जिसमें just 3 requirement आपने पूरी करनी है, only 3. Number 1, एक तो आपने English का टेस्ट करना है. पहले सिर्फ IELTS था, लेकिन अब 2 और टेस्ट इंक्लूड हो गए हैं, पियर्सन PT जिसे कहते हैं, और TOEFL टेस्ट. नंबर 2, आपने सिर्फ पहले साल की फीस एडवांस जमा करानी है, नेक्स्ट ईयर्स की फीस एडवांस देने की जरूरत नहीं है, वो आप इंस्टॉलमेंट में कर सकते हैं. नंबर 3, आपका बैंक अकाउंट खुलेगा कैनेडियन बैंक में, और उसमें आपने 10,000 कैनेडियन डॉलर जमा कराने हैं खाने पीने रहने के लिए. अमूमन ये पैसे यूज नहीं होते, क्योंकि आप पार्ट टाइम जॉब से खाना पीना रहना का अरेंज कर सकते हैं. सो मैं आपको रिकमेंड करूँगा जी. सो ये 3 पॉइंट्स मैंने मुख्तलिफ अंदाज में आपको समझाने की कोशिश की है, कि so that you could understand that this is very easy. So I hope you understand now about SDS policy. If you have any question, you can ask me in even in Urdu or English. And मेरा ऑफिस जो है, आप पाकिस्तान के किसी शहर से भी हैं, मेरा ऑफिस आपकी हेल्प करेगा, एडमिशन में भी, वीजा में भी, विदाउट चार्जिंग एनी फी. Yes.
To ask one question.
Yes.
Sir, my question is that if we apply for STS policy, will we allowed for work permit also? We can do part-time job, or it is not allowed? And second is that, are visas being issued because Canadian government has been said that we will cap international students due to housing crisis? What is your suggestion about this?
I could answer some of that, and then Mr. Farouk can help as well. So firstly, yes, all international students, when you come to Canada, if you're going to an approved institution, DLI, with your study permit, you are eligible to work 20 hours per week during the school year. And then during the breaks, during summer break, you are allowed to work full-time. So usually here in Canada, full-time means 35 or 40 hours per week. And so that that applies to the SDS visa stream as well. Yes.
Ma'am, the question is that because I have also been applied in University of Winnipeg, as you said, but the main problem is that the Canadian government has said that we are capping international students. Has university concerned about the international students? Because if we submit once the international fees, Canadian dollars and living expenses, and the embassy rejects the visa, so now then what the education concern will help in us?
Yeah, and Mohammed, I see that you've been doing your research and you are serious about studying in Canada because you're following international student news. And I think that this is a very valid point. This week, really, maybe the last 2 weeks, there's been a lot in the news because there is in many parts of Canada, there is housing. There's not a lot of housing for not just for students, but for people in general. And so one of the things that has come up is that there's lots of international students in Canada, and they are applying for housing, and they're living in places that are affordable, that also, you know, people who need affordable housing might not have access. This is actually something where I think students are wise to perhaps widen their scope of where they will consider going to in Canada. There is not a lack of housing in Winnipeg or in Manitoba. There is not a lack of housing in Saskatchewan, in many places where students are, if they will think outside of the scope. But as you mentioned, this has been something where they are, the government has said we might have to look at capping the number of international students. And I would say that as those details come out, I would expect that it will mean they will be filtering how many students can go to what parts of Canada. That we can't have every international student studying in Toronto. It's not possible. There's not enough houses. I mean, there's just not. And I think that the policy outcome of this will likely be the government trying to encourage students to spread across Canada. There's lots of capacity in cities like Winnipeg, Regina, Thunder Bay, Lethbridge, but students often have like one singular mindset, that is Toronto, that is Vancouver. But when they look outside of there, there's a lot of opportunity still in Canada.
Ma'am, the last question is that does University of Winnipeg offer in-campus work program also? Because other universities also offer some work program for international students, so that they can work on campus during breaks or in after time jobs. And they can do some job and can conclude their money also. Does University of Winnipeg also offers it?
That's great. Yes, we do. So I will tell you right now, at the beginning of the presentation, I said that my job here is looking after student recruitment, international, or all admissions, international and domestic, and international student services. And I will tell you that I probably employ about 40 international students through those departments, and they do jobs. Some of them are tour guides. Some of them do office jobs. Some of them do work where they help the admissions department with data entry and doing office work. Some of them, a lot of them work in our international student services office, working as mentors and as tutors for other students. And so there's a lot of opportunity for working on campus for students here. There's also, so those are sort of jobs where your skill for those jobs that you're getting is being a student. Also, many of our professors here have research jobs where they employ students, many of them international students, to even work with them in their labs as TAs, as research assistants, as lab demonstrators. And so there's really, for students who are keen, a lot of opportunity here for them.
Ma'am, I want to ask one question, that does university concludes the 3-year programs or 4-year program? As you said, it validates on program status or its cost. But the main problem is that that does university offer IT programs? Because as you have said, it offers BBA, science programs and arts programs. The main question about all international students is that because today the technology has been advancing, like AI, computer engineering, software engineering. Now does university offer all these programs in a simple way, or in research labs, or offer jobs after their internship? Like in Pakistan, internships are also being offered in first, second semester. Are they paid or not being paid?
Good. Very good question. And I think probably lots of students here are interested in IT field. It's a very growing field. International students are interested, so are domestic students. So at the University of Winnipeg, we have a Bachelor of Science degree in applied computer science. And so within that field, your program is applied computer science, and you have two options of program duration. We have a 3-year Bachelor of Science, and when you graduate with this program, you have the skills to enter the job market. So students often graduate with 3 years degree, and they will do programs there. They'll do jobs. They're qualified programming, network security, database analysts, IT support, those areas. We also have 4-year options. 4-year option is more common for students who are on the research side. So students who want to work on the theory and developing new algorithms and those kind of things. And so here at the university, we have both options, sort of the hands-on practical for the students, and usually that's the 3-year program. And then the 4-year that would lead to students who want to then do a master's and PhD and work in academic side of it. Your other question was about if there's paid opportunities. So yes, in our co-op program, or in our Bachelor of Computer Science program, we do have a co-op program available. And so what that is, where students, after they have done 1 year of studies, if their marks are high enough, they can apply to do a co-op work term. And this will be with a real company, maybe one of those companies that I showed today, where they can get paid work experience plus credit towards their university degree. Students can do these. They can do multiple co-op terms. So then when they graduate, they do have some real solid work experience on their resume.
Fine, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I can tell you've really been doing your research. So thank you for your questions. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, ma'am, I'm doing research because I have also applied in Manitoba province. As you said, there are housing crises in all over provinces of Canada, but I've now selected one, University of Winnipeg and University of Manitoba. I have applied in both universities in IT field. So
All right.
now let's take and watch the other visa process.
We hope. Good luck. And now I'll say Abdullah Hamid, if you would like to ask a question. Oh, sorry. Please go ahead, Abdullah Hamid. You're first, and then we'll ask Arsham Shakur will be next.
Ma'am, my question is that can people provide English proficiency letter in place of IELTS?
Good question. No. So for 2 reasons. We don't, at the University of Winnipeg, we do not accept an English proficiency letter. Or an MOI or mode of instruction. We do need you to do a test. And also, in general, for anyone going from Pakistan, wherever you go, I would say an MOI letter or an LOI is never a good option for you, because you will not have as much chance of success with the visa. And maybe Mr. Farouk can help me with that, but the Canadian government wants to see an English test in their visa application. And so even if you get the a waiver, I still would recommend that a student does this test, because it will help you, I promise, with your visa. And Farouk, would you like to comment on that?
Yes, for SDS policy, IELTS or TOEFL or PT is must. If you apply without these tests, one of these tests, you will be applying under non-SDS visa, non-SDS system, in which visa ratio is very poor, and you have chances to refuse your visa, to get your refusal.
And
So
really,
I will encourage you not to afraid with any of these tests. These are very easy. You can prepare in 20-30 days, and you can get 6.5 band very easily. So you should apply with SDS policy.
yeah, I think so. You don't want to waste your time doing all of these other things and all these other requirements just to have a visa rejection because of the test. So really, really strongly say to students from Pakistan, please do a language test. It will really help you in the long run. Okay.
Ma'am, my last question is that can we pay university fees after coming in Canada or not? Because the Canadian dollar is about 220 Pakistani rupees. So it is difficult. It is not possible for all to pay, but their economy is not better because it is not possible to pay.
Dear, in fact, if you are applying under STS policy, so this is the basic requirement that you must pay your first year tuition fees in advance.
Yeah, and so at the University of Winnipeg, our minimum deposit that we require for you to get an LOA, a letter of acceptance and offer from us, is 10,000 Canadian dollars. That's the minimum. And if a student has a visa refusal, that is fully refunded to them. You send us the rejection and we refund. But so minimum is 10, but as Mr. Farouk said, your chance is so much higher if you go under SDS stream. And so I think even my advice could be, if it takes longer to raise the money to be able to put down about 20,000 Canadian, your full first year tuition, it might be worthwhile to delay your start a bit so that you can do that, because the SDS policy really changed things for us, for students from Pakistan. We were seeing very, very bad refusal rates, and now the rates are good if students do that stream.
Ma'am, the one question is that the minimum required IELTS band are 6 in SDS policy. Ma'am, you can ask the Sir Bashir or Sir Education Concern. But if a student concern in all module in bands in all modules 6 and overall 6, can he apply for STS program?
Farouk, go ahead. So University of Winnipeg, you need 6.5, but I believe it's 6 for the
STS program.
Yeah. Most universities in Canada will be 6.5 for direct entry, unless students are doing some kind of a language program when they come here.
किसका है नंबर? ये 0304 0349.
Okay, I'm going to ask now Arsam Shakur, if you would like to go next, and then Faizan, if Irfan will be next, please.
Excuse me, ma'am, I want to ask something. Can I ask?
Yes, please go ahead.
I want to ask, can I do credit transfer in University of Winnipeg? Like, I am a student of university here. I completed my 4th semester. So can I transfer my credit hours to University of Winnipeg?
Yes, we do accept. So I'll say overall, yes. We accept transfer students and we give transfer credit for up to 2 years of studying. What this depends on, the biggest factor it depends on is the school that you're going to, and that it is a accredited school. So if it is a public university or government university, it should meet what you can know. So students, if you are studying at a university in Pakistan or college and would like to transfer to the University of Winnipeg, if you get in touch with Mr. Farouk, an education concern, he can check for you if it's a school that we will offer transfer credit for. And then, so even before you apply, he can say, yes, this is one that they accept. But we are if it is a university that meets the international accreditation standards, we accept transfer credit.
I just want to add something. My university is affiliated with Washington Accord. Is this acceptable?
So this these are the ones where I say we have to make sure that the accreditation meets our requirements. So what I would suggest, Arsam, is for you to send Mr. Farouk an image of your transcript of your or mark sheet or whatever you have so far. He can look at it and he and I will work on it. And so we can tell you if it would be eligible for transfer credit before you apply, if you'd like to do that, just because we will have to look at it. And I don't know all the schools off the top of my head, but if you just send him, Farouk, I believe, is that your WhatsApp number there?
Yes, this is my WhatsApp number.
And so you can just send us a photo of it and then we can let you know.
Ma'am,
Okay,
Ma'am,
thank you, ma'am.
my question is that there is option of a Duolingo app. Can it is accepted?
So Duolingo is accepted for admission for 120. Duolingo is not accepted for the SDS visa stream. And so you can do Duolingo and you can get your letter of acceptance, but if you want to do the SDS visa stream, you'll have to do Pearson, PTE, IELTS, or TOEFL.
Ma'am, you are encouraging us for get admission in University of Winnipeg, and you are saying that University of Winnipeg has this and that advantages. Ma'am, so you should also offer, university should also offer a job for us. It can be on campus or off the campus, because on campus job are very helpful in all ways of student. Can it be possible that we get a student visa and get admitted in university and start doing job and study also?
Yeah, we have a lot of students who work, international students, almost all of our international students work. And a good portion of them work on campus. Okay, so we just have a few more minutes. So I'm going to ask Faizan, Irfan, if you would like to go. And then Mukrab, Ahmed, you'll be next.
Okay, I wanna just ask about, is there any engineering program available like mechanical and other?
Unfortunately, no. So at the University of Winnipeg, the only area of engineering, we have software engineering within our computer science program. But if you really like what I said today and you are interested in coming to Manitoba, you should look at the University of Manitoba would be engineering if you come to our province.
Okay, that's it. I just wanna ask about that. Thank you.
Thank you. And then Mukrab Ahmed, please go ahead.
Assalamualaikum. I just want to ask that, is there any scholarship opportunities provided? Because as you said that first 10,000 Canadian dollars are required. So in our country, I can do my degree like 4 times in that $10,000. So are there any scholarship opportunities?
We have some scholarship opportunities. I'll be very honest with students. We don't have a lot of scholarship opportunities and we do not have any fully funded options. So it is going to require a significant investment from you to be able to study here. We will have some scholarship options of maybe 1,000 or 2,000 Canadian dollars, but we don't have, a fully funded option. For students, sort of the way we sort of show is that while it is expensive, it's very expensive. I recognize that it is still kind of one of the most affordable options for studying in North America. And so, yeah, the scholarship options, the maximum scholarship that we would have is $5,000, which is that President's Scholarship for World Leaders, but that one is a competitive scholarship. So it depends on the profile and it's really for a top student.
Like if I'm in my second semesters and I have currently a CGPA of 3.0, so what are the minimum requirements that how much scholarship can I avail? Like if it's even competitive, that how much scholarship can I avail if I really want to come to this?
So the largest scholarship, you'd not be eligible for the special entrance scholarship because that is for students who are going directly from high school to university. You could apply for the President's Scholarship for World Leaders. That is based on your grades and then also extracurriculars. So
my question is that can we pay half of first year fee or not?
That's a good, so students need to pay 10,000 Canadian dollars, and that is to get their LOA. That will cover your first term fees here. That will be everything you need for the first semester. We encourage students to apply through SDS and have prepaid their second and third semester. But if that's not possible and you go through the other route, tuition is paid by semester. So in September, you'll pay for your fall courses. In January, you pay again. So you pay installments by term as you go. And so I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. So I hope that you've all had a chance to get our messages here from our contact information here. I want to say thank you very much to all of you for your time. We have a few deadlines coming up. So winter deadline is September 15th to apply. And so if you're really, really keen and you want to start in January, it is still possible. I think visas are still processing fast enough that it's possible to start in January, but that deadline is coming up now in about just over 2 weeks. So it would be, if you're really looking for January, you should connect with Mr. Farouk soon about your application. But other than that, we have May, then we'll have September. And so there's a lot of scope here, and we don't have big concerns about, gaps. If you're sort of within this range, if one semester is not going to make a difference. If you need a semester to get your affairs in order, to get your paper, to get your finances, starting in September, January, May, it's all gonna have the same outcome. Mr. Farouk, I'll ask if you have any final words for us.
Ma'am, can you repeat the engineering program you have mentioned earlier?
Sorry, did you say IT program? So I didn't hear that last question. Sorry, please go ahead.
I said, can you repeat the engineering program that you have mentioned earlier?
So I said we don't have engineering. We only have at the University of Winnipeg software engineering. If you are looking for engineering in Canada, also Mr. Farouk does not just work with the University of Winnipeg, even though I know he is such a strong supporter of Manitoba and Winnipeg. So connect with him if you really want to be mechanical engineering, civil engineering, and he can help you match up with a school that's right for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming. Thank you, Mr. Farouk. As always, it's so nice to work with you. All the students who are here, I really, really recommend. We have been partners now for many years. I've seen students who started here and worked with the Education Concern team come here to campus and introduce themselves and say, I saw you in the webinar, and they've had really good service, very ethical, very good advice. So you cannot really go wrong if you partner with an official partner here. I really recommend it. So thank you for your help, Mr. Farouk, and Education Concern, and also the time for all the students. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your motivation.
Good luck, everybody.
Good luck. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Can you please share your email?
Yes. Dear students, मैं अभी still available हूँ. आप अपने सारे क्वेश्चन जो रह गए वो कर सकते हैं. एक क्वेश्चन था आप में से कि एसडीएस पॉलिसी में वीजा के लिए जो रिलैक्सेशन मिली है 6 बैंड, और जबकि यूनिवर्सिटीज कहती है कि हमें 6.5 बैंड चाहिए. एक क्वेश्चन बड़ा अहम था, मैं उसमें कुछ इजाफा करना चाहता हूँ कि अगर आप किसी के जो बैंड हैं 6 हैं ओवरऑल और बाकी मॉड्यूल में चाहे कुछ भी है, तो वो वीजा के लिए बिल्कुल एलिजिबल हो चुके हैं एज पर न्यू पॉलिसी. लेकिन जब हम एडमिशन की तरफ जाते हैं तो एडमिशन हमें नहीं मिलता, क्योंकि वो दे नीड 6 ओवरऑल और 6.5 बैंड ओवरऑल, और किसी मॉड्यूल में वो कहते हैं 6 से कम ना हो. तो इसका हल क्या है? उसका हल ये है कि आप डिलिंगो टेस्ट करके एडमिशन ले लें ताकि एडमिशन की रिक्वायरमेंट पूरी हो जाए, एंड दे नीड 120. और वीजा के लिए आप ऑलरेडी 6 बैंड ले चुके हैं, उसके ऊपर वीजा अप्लाई करें. सो ये एक स्मार्ट वे है जिससे आप दोनों की रिक्वायरमेंट पूरी करके वीजा हासिल कर सकते हैं. मेरे ख्याल में मोहम्मद साजिद ने ये क्वेश्चन किया था, ये उसका आंसर है. दूसरों को भी फायदा हो जाएगा, क्योंकि ये कंफ्यूजन है कि आइल्स में जब रिलैक्सेशन होगी तो व्हाई यूनिवर्सिटीज आर नॉट गिविंग अस द एडमिशन. सो उसका हल ये है कि हम डिलिंगो करके, जो एक बहुत ही आसान टेस्ट है, घर बैठे आप दे सकते हैं. और अब बताइए कोई और क्वेश्चन हो? हाँ, आप में से जो स्टूडेंट्स आइल्स करना चाहते हैं तो हमारी जूम के ऊपर आइल्स की क्लासेस भी होती हैं डेली 5 PM, मंडे टू फ्राइडे, और आप उसको अटेंड कर सकते हैं। और जो हमारी टीचर हैं बहुत अच्छा पढ़ाती हैं, और आई होप कि आप 6.5 बैंड इजीली ले सकते हैं। सो मेरी बातें अब तक की खत्म है। आप जो क्वेश्चन करना चाहते हैं कर ले।
So can you screen share your email and number,
एक
please?
एक मिनट, जो अरसम शकूर थे, आप कौन सी इंजीनियरिंग करना चाहते हैं?
सर मैं इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियर में भी हूँ इस वक्त,
ठीक
पावर
है,
इलेक्ट्रिकल पावर इंजीनियर।
ठीक है, आप यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ मैनटोबा में जा सकते हैं, जैसा कि मिसेस एशले ने कहा। दूसरी ऑप्शन यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ न्यू ब्रंसविक है, उसमें भी इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियरिंग मौजूद है। ठीक है, आप उधर भी जा सकते हैं। सो आप सबके पास चूंकि मेरा व्हाट्सएप नंबर और ईमेल एड्रेस आ चुका है, तो आफ्टर सेमिनार आप मुझसे कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं। जी,
सर
सर
इज इट इजी टू गेट क्रेडिट क्रेडिट ट्रांसफर, कि हम क्रेडिट जो हम क्रेडिट
यस,
ट्रांसफर कर सकते हैं?
यस, इट्स
वो
इजी। आपको एडमिशन के साथ, एडमिशन जब हम भेजेंगे आपकी ट्रांसक्रिप्ट के साथ, तो साथ आपका सिलेबस या कोर्स आउटलाइन हमें चाहिए होगी, ताकि वो आपकी असेसमेंट करें। सम टाइम यूनिवर्सिटीज अप फ्रंट असेसमेंट नहीं कर पाती, वो आपको एडमिशन दे देती हैं इन फर्स्ट ईयर, और कहती हैं जब आपको वीजा मिल जाएगा आप इधर आके दोबारा रीअसेसमेंट करवाएं, हम आपको क्रेडिट ट्रांसफर करेंगे। सो इन दोनों सिचुएशन में वीजा आराम से लग जाता है।
तो इसके लिए मिनिमम मेरे ख्याल 4 सेमेस्टर होते हैं ना?
फोर्थ सेमेस्टर जी,
ठीक।
मिनिमम तो 1 भी चलता है, मैक्सिमम 4 सेमेस्टर होना चाहिए, इससे ज्यादा ना हो तो बेहतर है।
ओके, थैंक यू। एक सर आपने
सर
यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ मैनटोबा बताई, दूसरी क्या थी?
यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ न्यू ब्रंसविक, unb.ca, इसको चेक कर ले।
सर जो आपने कहा कि क्लासेस है वो हम 5 o'clock होती हैं आईलेट्स की, तो उनकी फी कितनी है?
उनकी
या वो
फी 25,000 फी है, लेकिन जो आज के इवेंट में आए हैं वो 20,000 पे करेंगे, उनको डिस्काउंट है यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ विनिपेग की वजह से। सो अगर आप स्टूडेंट्स ने IELTS की क्लासेस लेनी है, तो मैं एक नंबर आपसे शेयर कर रहा हूँ मिस आयशा का, आप उनको कॉल कर सकते हैं यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ विनिपेग के हवाले से, और वो आपको 5,000 डिस्काउंट देंगी, और आप कल से ही ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं। और ऐसा भी मुमकिन है आप सब लोग फर्स्ट जो कल की क्लास है एज ए ट्रायल ले सकते हैं, ताकि आप पेमेंट करने से पहले आप ये आपको कॉन्फिडेंस मिल जाए कि आप इनसे आराम से पढ़ सकते हैं। सो अभी आपको ₹4 पेमेंट करने की जरूरत नहीं है, जस्ट एक कल की क्लास लें और फिर उसके बाद पेमेंट करें। मैं आप तमाम को चैट में टेलीफोन नंबर लिख रहा हूँ।
सर मैंने आपसे एक सवाल पूछना था।
पूछिए।
सर सवाल इस तरह है कि देखिए सर, मैंने खुद मतलब बैंक स्टेटमेंट बनाई है 1 करोड़ की ना, मैंने खुद भी मैनिटोबा प्रोविंस के लिए अप्लाई करवाया है।
ओके,
सर STS के जरिए अप्लाई करेंगे। सर STS का सिंपल बात में रिजल्ट कितनी देर तक एक्सेप्टेड है या रिजेक्टेड एप्लीकेशन?
पाकिस्तान जैसे मुल्क, क्योंकि 12 कंट्रीज में शामिल है इंक्लूडिंग पाकिस्तान, तो 21 डेज में अमूमन हमारे वीजे आए हैं। कुछ स्टूडेंट्स ऐसे भी हैं जिनके वीजे 12 डेज में, 6 डेज में भी आए हैं। और एक यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ विंजर है हमारी, जिसका लास्ट ईयर 3 डेज में वीजा मिला है, और जब वो वीजा जब वो हमें ईमेल मिली तो हमने समझा शायद ये रिफ्यूज हो गया, क्योंकि इतनी जल्दी कभी किसी का वीजा नहीं आया, बट उसको उन्होंने वीजा दे दिया आफ्टर 3 डेज। तो आप
सर देखिए सर इस तरह बात है कि क्या नाम है, मेरे खुद IELTS में 6 बैंड है, मैट्रिक मैंने 96% से की है, और FSC मेरी 85% से है।
ठीक,
और बैचलर्स प्रोग्राम मैंने कंटिन्यू करना है इसी यूनिवर्सिटी में, मैनिटोबा, यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ मैनिटोबा है, ये यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ विनिपेग है।
ये यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ विनिपेग है जी।
ये यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ विनिपेग है, वैसे यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ मैनिटोबा भी है और एक यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ विनिपेग भी है।
जी बिल्कुल।
इन दो में अभी तक डिसाइड नहीं हुआ कि कौन सा, लेकिन एक्सेप्टेंस मेरे पास दोनों की है।
ओके, मैनिटोबा सिटी में 2 यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं, एक यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ मैनिटोबा, एक यूनिवर्सिटी, सॉरी, विनिपेग सिटी में 2 यूनिवर्सिटी हैं, एक विनिपेग यूनिवर्सिटी और एक मैनिटोबा यूनिवर्सिटी। ठीक है, सो अगर आपके पास दोनों के एडमिशन आ चुके हैं, प्रोग्राम कौन सा है जिसमें आप जाना चाहते हैं?
सर मैंने एक कंप्यूटर इंजीनियरिंग में की है और एक CS के लिए।
ओके, ठीक है, आप मेरा व्हाट्सएप नंबर आपके पास आ चुका है। ठीक है
जी सर, ये मिस आयशा के नाम से जो है।
नो नो नो, मैं आपको भेजता हूँ व्हाट्सएप नंबर अपना भी। ये जो मिस आयशा का है ये है IELTS के लिए, मेरा नंबर ये है 0302 841170 फर्रुख बिकुला। ठीक है
सर, तो आप चार्जेस कितने करेंगे अगर मैं आपसे वीजा अप्लाई करवाता हूँ?
हमारे यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ विनिपेग के लिए किसी किस्म के चार्जेस नहीं है। हम आपका जो केस है, एडमिशन के रिमेनिंग जो प्रोसेस है, उसके बाद जो वीजा का प्रोसेस है, सारा विदाउट एनी चार्जेस करेंगे।
और सर, अगर सिर्फ वीजा प्रोसेस करवाते हैं तो?
हाँ, कोई वीजा प्रोसेस तब भी हम आपसे चार्जेस नहीं लेंगे। यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ विनिपेग के लिए हमारे कोई चार्जेस नहीं है।
और यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ मैनिटोबा के लिए?
वो जब आप मुझे फोन करेंगे ना, डिस्कस कर लेंगे कौन सी यूनिवर्सिटी आपको सूट कर रही है। यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ विनिपेग के लिए नो चार्जेस, ठीक है। यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ मैनिटोबा के लिए हो सकता है उसके लिए भी चार्जेस ना लें, लेकिन पहले आप केस अपना मुझे दोनों के ऑफर लेटर दिखा दे, मैं आपको गाइड करता हूँ आफ्टर दिस इवेंट। ठीक है,
ठीक हो गया सर।
ठीक है। अच्छा, तो जिन स्टूडेंट ने IELTS की कल ट्रायल क्लास लेनी है, मिस आयशा का नंबर मैंने उनको चैट में लिख दिया है। आप उनको कल 10 AM टू 6 PM के 10 AM टू 3 PM के दरमियान कॉल करें ताकि 5 PM के ऊपर क्लास अटेंड कर सकें। ठीक है
सर, मेरा एक और सवाल है सर। 6 बैंड आए हैं मेरे।
जी,
ठीक है सर, और मेरे ऑल मॉड्यूल में भी 6 है।
ठीक।
ठीक है, तो क्या इसके जरिए भी STS में अप्लाई कर सकते हैं?
आप SDS के लिए 100% एलिजिबल हो चुके हैं, लेकिन देखना यह है कि इन दोनों यूनिवर्सिटीज ने आपको इंग्लिश की कंडीशन तो नहीं लगाई हुई, क्योंकि दे नीड 6.5 ओवरऑल।
जी सर।
लगाई हुई ना कंडीशन?
जी जी सर।
जी, अब उस कंडीशन को मीट करने का एक ही तरीका है। वीजा के लिए आप बिल्कुल ओके हैं, उसके लिए वरीड ना हो, आप SDS में जा सकते हैं। इनकी कंडीशन भी तो मीट करनी है, उसके लिए आप सिंपली डिलिंगो बुक कराएं एंड गेट 120 उसमें स्कोर लें और आपकी वो कंडीशन रिमूव हो जाएगी। उसके बाद आप 6 बैंड के ऊपर वीजा अप्लाई करेंगे।
फाइन सर, और ठीक हो गया सर, थैंक यू।
मोस्ट वेलकम जी। अच्छा, आपके क्वेश्चन काफी अहम थे, दूसरों को भी जो थोड़े से हेजिटेट करते हैं क्वेश्चन करने में, उनको भी फायदा हो गया है जी। और कोई क्वेश्चन, कोई स्टूडेंट हो? इस प्रोविंस का एक और भी फायदा है कि आफ्टर स्टडी 6 मंथ के बाद आपको PR मिल जाता है, परमानेंट रेजिडेंसी। ठीक है, सो इस सिटी में, इस प्रोविंस में परमानेंट रेजिडेंसी भी क्विक है। तो आप जो स्टूडेंट इस वक्त मौजूद हैं, क्या IELTS कर रहे हैं? ठीक है, और जिन्होंने IELTS करना है, कल की ट्रायल क्लास लेनी है, वो भी चैट बॉक्स में अपने नंबर्स बेशक लिख दें ताकि टीचर डायरेक्ट ही उनसे, आपको मिस आयशा से भी बात ना करनी पड़े, टीचर ही आपको डायरेक्ट क्लास में, ट्रायल क्लास में एंटर कर दें। कल 5 PM आप रेडी रहें, जूम के ऊपर क्लास होगी। ठीक है, तो अपने चैट बॉक्स में अपने नंबर और नेम छोड़ दें। ठीक है, गालबन तमाम क्वेश्चंस कवर हो गए हैं। अच्छा जी, मोहम्मद दाऊद
अच्छा सर, मुझे ये क्वेश्चन करना था कि इसके लिए हमें बैंक स्टेटमेंट कितनी रिक्वायर होती है वीज़ा प्रोसेस के लिए?
वेरी गुड क्वेश्चन। SDS पॉलिसी में विदाउट बैंक स्टेटमेंट आप वीजा अप्लाई करते हैं, लेकिन अगर आपके पेरेंट्स के पास बैंक स्टेटमेंट मौजूद है और उसका बैलेंस भी बहुत अच्छा है, लाइक अच्छे से मुराद 4 मिलियन 5 मिलियन, तो उसको एज ए एडिशनल डॉक्यूमेंट्स के तौर पे लगाने में कोई हर्ज नहीं है। लेकिन अगर आपके पास नहीं है अच्छी बैंक स्टेटमेंट, तो उसकी रिक्वायरमेंट ही उन्होंने खत्म कर दी है SDS पॉलिसी की वजह से, तो सो दे नो नीड टू शो।
और हमें जस्ट यूनिवर्सिटी की फी पे करनी होगी?
यूनिवर्सिटी की फीस पे करनी है, 10,000 उनके बैंक में जमा कराना है। उनके बैंक में अपना अकाउंट, आपका अकाउंट खुलेगा, आपका अपना, और उसमें जमा कराएंगे।
सही है। इसमें 10,000 के अलावा भी कोई चार्जेस हैं, लाइक यूनिवर्सिटी के अप्लाई करने का चार्जेस?
यस, जब मुझे डॉक्यूमेंट देंगे तो एप्लीकेशन फी पे करेंगे $120 कैनेडियन। और अगर आपके पास अपना क्रेडिट कार्ड है तो वही यूज हो जाएगा फीस पे करने के लिए। अदरवाइज आप हमारे क्रेडिट कार्ड में पेमेंट जमा कराएंगे तो हम अपना यूज करेंगे। सो एक एक्सपेंस ये है। फिर आपका ऑफर लेटर आ जाएगा तो आपने एडवांस ट्यूशन फीस पे करनी है, बैंक पे अकाउंट ओपन करना है, उसमें $10,000 जमा कराने हैं। फिर हम आपको मेडिकल के लिए कहेंगे, वो भी इनके रिकग्नाइज वो क्लिनिक है। फिर आपका पुलिस रिपोर्ट बनेगी, उसका भी तरीकेकार आपको बताएंगे। देन हम वीजा अप्लाई करेंगे और 21 डेज में वीजा जब आ जाएगा, आपने 1 वे एयर टिकट लेनी है और क्लास स्टार्ट होने से कुछ दिन पहले चले जाना है।
अच्छा, और इसके वीज़ा चार्जेस कितने होते हैं, लाइक वीज़ा एप्लीकेशन चार्जेस?
अबाउट 45 to 52,000 रुपीज, पाक रुपी, क्योंकि डॉलर का रेट इतना फ्लक्चुएट कर रहा है, एग्जैक्ट बताया नहीं जा सकता। रफली आप जेब में रखें, तकरीबन 48,000 से 52,000 रुपीज, 48 से 52,000 रुपीज तक होगा।
सही है, अराउंड 50 होगा।
जी,
और इसमें लाइक हमारा कोई इंटरव्यू वगैरह भी होगा यूनिवर्सिटी के लिए, या वीज़ा
No.
अपॉइंटमेंट के बाद?
नो, देयर इज नो एनी इंटरव्यू, ना ही यूनिवर्सिटी से ना ही एम्बेसी से।
सही है, ठीक।
आपकी क्या क्वालिफिकेशन है?
मैंने बीएस कंप्यूटर साइंस की है 2021 में।
और सीजीपीए कितना है आपका?
मेरा 3.0 है।
ठीक है, तो आइल्स कर लिए?
आइल्स मेरा एक्सपायर हो गया हुआ है, मैंने 2017 में किया था, तो प्रोबेबली मुझे रीन्यू करना पड़ेगा।
ठीक है, तो आपने अभी तक किसी यूनिवर्सिटी को देखा है जिसमें आपका प्रोग्राम हो कंप्यूटर साइंस का?
नहीं, मैंने जस्ट अभी ये पहले सेमिनार ले रहा हूँ, तो अभी रिसर्च स्टार्ट की है।
ठीक है, आपने कंप्यूटर साइंस के लिए 2 यूनिवर्सिटी जो रीजनेबल है इकोनॉमिकल, वो है, एक है अल्गोमा यूनिवर्सिटी और एक है यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ विंडसर। इन दोनों की फीसेस ऑलमोस्ट इतनी है जितने की किसी कॉलेज की होती है, तकरीबन $20,000 के करीब।
ठीक है, यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ इंजा और दूसरी कौन सी?
यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ विंडसर, मैं चैट बॉक्स में ना लिख देता हूँ आपको।
जी, सही है।
ठीक है,
अच्छा, इनकी 1 ईयर की फी है?
ये 1 ईयर की फीस है। ये अल्गोमा यूनिवर्सिटी की है और है विंडसर। ये 2 यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं ओंटारियो स्टेट की, ये कंप्यूटर साइंस कराती हैं। जनवरी इनटेक एडमिशन ओपन है, आप इनमें अप्लाई कर सकते हैं। और
सही है।
अप्लाई करने के लिए आपके पास ऑलरेडी मेरे इंफॉर्मेशन होगी, टेलीफोन नंबर भी होगा, ईमेल एड्रेस भी, तो आप मुझसे रब्ता कर सकते हैं। एडमिशन, वीजा, इन दोनों मैटर्स में हम आपकी हेल्प करेंगे इंशाल्लाह।
ठीक है, इसकी आपने कितनी फी बताई है, और सारी मतलब अप्लाई करने की भी, और इसकी यूनिवर्सिटी की फी?
1 ईयर की ट्यूशन फीस तकरीबन 20,000 के करीब है, अराउंड 20,000।
ओके। और IELTS रिक्वायर है 6.5 इनमें भी?
6.5 ओवरऑल, और किसी मेरिट में 6 से कम ना हो। और अगर किसी वजह से आइल्स में बैंड कम आ जाए तो फिर डिलिंगो टेस्ट पास करना है यूनिवर्सिटी की खातिर, लेकिन आइल्स में बैंड कम 6 से हरगिज ना हो कम, क्योंकि फिर SDS पॉलिसी से आप आउट हो जाएंगे, वीजा नहीं अप्लाई कर सकेंगे।
सही है, ठीक।
ठीक है, और कोई क्वेश्चन?
सर अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
वालेकुम सलाम, जी जनाब।
सर मेरा नाम मोहम्मद दाऊद, बेसिकली मैं IR का स्टूडेंट हूँ और मेरा फाइनल ईयर चल रहा है।
आपका CGPA कितना है?
सर मेरा CGPA 3.4 इस टाइम CGPA है मेरा।
इंजीनियरिंग कौन सी कर रहे हैं आप?
सर मैं IR कर रहा हूँ, इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस, यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ सिंध।
ओके, ठीक है, आप मास्टर डिग्री पब्लिक रिलेशन, IR, पॉलिटिकल साइंस, इनमें जा सकते हैं। ठीक है,
सर इसकी क्या फिर प्रोसेस होगा, क्या इसकी फीस होगी, कौन सी
तकरीबन
यूनिवर्सिटी इसके लिए अच्छी?
20,000 अराउंड 20,000 फीस आप जेन में रखें, प्लस 10,000 जो आपने बैंक में जमा कराने हैं, एंड यू नीड आइल्स
अच्छा।
6.5 के साथ।
अच्छा सर मुझे आइल्स, बेसिकली मुझे आइल्स करना पड़ेगा, इसके बाद ही
जी।
प्रोसेस होगा आगे?
जी बिल्कुल, फर्स्ट स्टेप आपका इंग्लिश टेस्ट है, आइल्स कर लें, पीटीई कर लें या टॉफल कर लें। ठीक है, टॉफल करेंगे तो 86 होना चाहिए, आइल्स करेंगे तो 6.5 रैंक, और पीटीई करेंगे तो अबाउट 62 होना चाहिए, 65 होना चाहिए।
सर अगर कोई स्पॉन्सर कर रहा है कनाडा से हमें, तो उसका क्या प्रोसेस है? अगर हम वहाँ स्पॉन्सर कर रहा है, हमें जा रहे हैं, तो फिर हमारा क्या
वी
क्या
ओनली
फिर हम
डील इन
वहाँ?
स्टडी वीजा।
जी सर।
हम सिर्फ स्टडी वीजा में डील करते हैं, इसके अलावा स्पॉन्सरशिप की इंफॉर्मेशन देते
अच्छा सर,
हैं। ओके,
तो ठीक है सर, मैं
ठीक,
ठीक है सर,
ओके,
ठीक
थैंक
है
यू।
सर,
ठीक है जी,
थैंक यू।
अब वाइंड अप करते हैं प्रोग्राम को।